The flashes and upside is obvious, now we just need the consistency. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another player review. If you've missed any of the previous player reviews, there is a playlist link at the top of the description box below. And with that being said, let's jump into the player review for Nassir Little. Nassir Little's 2021-2022 basketball season unfortunately got cut short due to a torn labrum that required season-ending surgery. It was unfortunate because Nassir Little at that point in time was playing his best basketball of the season and had a legitimate chance to prove himself over the final couple months of the year. Now, it could have been a situation where the Blazers ended up resting him because he was playing too good. Josh Hart, Anthony Simons, and Jusuf Nurkic all missed the rest of the season with questionable injuries. But nonetheless, he should have had a little bit more court time in order to find some sort of consistency, and that's going to be the theme of this video, is consistency. Before the season, I did a player preview on Nassir Little. Here is some of the things that I said in that video. However, last season, he kind of just ended up parked behind the three-point line, and that's why 48% of his shots were threes. Now, I want him shooting threes, don't get me wrong, but a guy with that athletic ability, that finishing ability, that straight line slashing ability should not be taking 48% of his shots from the three-point arc. But I think Chauncey will utilize him very, very well as a cutter in the half court, and it'll make Nas a bit more dynamic. Also, as is the case for other players on this roster, I think a half court offense with more player and ball movement will make it a little bit easier for Nassir Little to attack the rim off the dribble. But despite him not being a creator just yet, I would like to at least give him the opportunity to handle the ball in some pick and rolls with the bench unit. I would love for us to develop that skill set within him to make him a guy that can create for himself and others off the dribble out of pick and rolls, and hopefully kind of expand his isolation game to be able to break down defenders at some point. I think the most important skill for Nas, though, does go back to his three-point shooting. If he's a guy that can shoot 35, 36, 37% from three, then he's a guy that defenses have to respect and they have to close out on him hard. And Nas is a guy that if you close out on him too hard, he can do a good job attacking that and getting downhill and building up a head of steam and attacking the rim. And we need guys like that on this team. We need guys that are athletic forwards that can attack a closeout and get to the rim explosively. He's that guy. So it all starts with defenses having to respect his outside shot and run him off the three-point line, because if he's not shooting the ball well enough, then defenders just aren't going to close out on him that hard, and they're not going to give him a lane to the rim for him to attack. Now, I'll go over if he rose to my expectations or if he failed to meet them this past season. But first, let's look at his stats. These are the goals that I set for him in that video. Here are the actual stats that he had, as well as the difference between those two statistical categories. The difference for points per game, rebounds per game, and assists per game are based on per 36-minute numbers, because obviously he played a lot more minutes than I was expecting him to play per game this season. As you can see, he didn't have as much of an impact as a scorer and as a playmaker, in which I was hoping for him to have. He did rebound the ball a little bit better, and he finished a lot better from two than I had set a goal for him. His shooting, we're going to get into that. Now, I will be honest, I set a very ambitious assist per game goal for him, so him failing to reach that mark isn't too disappointing for me. I knew that he probably wouldn't. A lot of these goals were ambitious, and he achieved half of them. His best month came in January, where he averaged 31.5 minutes per game. He averaged 13 points per game, almost 6 rebounds, and almost 2 assists during the month of January, shooting 45% from the field and 40% from three, true shooting percentage of 59%. And that was when he was starting for the Portland Trail Blazers. That's after a couple guys had gone down. CJ McCollum was missing time, Damian Lillard was missing time, and Nassir Little, frankly, stepped up during those guys' absences and helped this team win a couple of games during that month. Now, at this point, I wish he helped us lose a couple of those games, but it is what it is. Now, let's look at some of the positives that I saw this season with Nassir Little. The first positive is his on-ball defense was very, very good. We're going to get into another area of his defense, but in terms of being matched up on guys on the ball, he did a very, very good job, and you could see the flash flashes of Nassir Little being a potential lockdown defender, and that's what this Blazer team sorely needs. So hopefully Nassir Little is going to be able to build upon that, because he should be a guy that could hypothetically guard positions 1 through 4. Point guards, shooting guards, small forwards, and power forwards. He has the length, he has the strength, he has the size, in my opinion, to guard fours, and then he has the perimeter quickness, the lateral foot speed to be able to guard point guards. We saw that where he had a couple good possessions like Kyrie Irving earlier this season. He had a clutch crunch time lockdown possession of DeMar DeRozan, who's been phenomenal all year. Advanced metrics graded Nassir Little as a top tier on-ball defender. The second positive I saw from Nassir Little were his offensive flashes, and while they weren't necessarily consistent, he pulled it together during that month of January and started consistently producing on the offensive end a bit more. We saw Nas attacking the rim more this season, which was nice to see. We saw him playing in the open court in transition a bit more, and you can see the offensive upside with him. He looked a little bit more comfortable handling the ball and making decisions from the perimeter, and that's to be expected playing under Chauncey Billups, who is really good at developing perimeter skills, playmaking skills within players. Clippers players back before Chauncey Billups became Portland head coach credited him with helping them improve their playmaking, so it's no surprise to see some improvement in that regard with Nassir Little. And I think the main thing that happened this season is Nassir Little gained confidence, and that might sound a little bit cliche, but he had never had a consistent role in the NBA. He would play 15 minutes one game and then 2 minutes the next. He would be anointed shooting guard one game and then be brought off the bench as the backup for the next. His role was yanked around so much in his first couple of seasons in the league. It was nice for him to have some sort of consistency this year, and I think that helped him. I think he finally felt like he proved that he could belong in the league, and not just belong in the league, but play consistent minutes and make a contribution to a team trying to win games. I think that bodes well going into a potential fourth-year breakout, which we just saw from Anthony Simons. And then the final positive I saw is I just think he fits well in Chauncey's system. Now, Chauncey self-admittedly wasn't able to fully invoke his system at the start of the year. He didn't want the transition from the previous Terry Stotts-led system to his own system to be too drastic for players, so he tried to slowly bring it along, and we saw a lot of things similar to last year within Chauncey's system at the start of this season. But once CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard started missing time, you still had Norman Powell on the team, but you started to see more of what Chauncey wanted to do offensively, and I think that partially coincides with Nassir Little having his best month in January. I still want to see Billups use Nas more as a cutter, more as a mover in the half court, and I still want to see this Blazer team run a little bit more than they did this past season. But had Nas been able to play with that Josh Hart, Anthony Simons, Justice Winslow, Yusuf Nurkic team, I think he would have fit in flawlessly, and I think Nassir Little showed that he's going to be a good fit in Chauncey Billups' system. Now, let's look at the negatives. The first negative I have for Nassir Little goes directly against his first positive. He really struggled defending off the ball this season. There was numerous times where he fell asleep, got back cut, didn't make the right rotation, and it still seemed like the game was moving a little bit too fast for him when he couldn't just lock in on an offensive player that was directly in front of him. In order to become a truly good defensive player, Nassir Little has to clean things up off the ball. More of his time defensively is spent playing off the ball than it is on it. That's just common sense. There's 5 players to guard and only one of them is going to have the ball. So it's really important for Nas to try and work on this area of his game. It's hard to work on during the offseason, but he really has to figure things out off the ball. There was way too many mistakes that he made last season. Eric broke them down in numerous breakdowns. The second negative for Nas was his shooting consistency, and Nas hasn't proven himself as a three-point shooter yet, in my opinion. He has flashes where he shoots the ball well. As I said, he shot 40% from 3 in 12 games in January. That was a 25 for 62 shooting clip, but before that, he was under 30% from 3, and some people have tried to make the claim that, oh, when he gets enough shots during games, when he shoots 5 threes or more, he shoots a better percentage. But I think that's an argument for the chicken or the egg, where he's probably shooting more shots because he knocked down his first couple couple of looks. Little shot 33% from 3 on the season. In November, he shot 25% from 3 on 12 for 47 from 3. And then in December, he was 6 for 29, which is good for 20.7%. Those 2 months are very, very poor shooting months. It led to players leaving him wide open from 3. There were times where I thought he could cut and maybe get a dunk or a layup, but he still spot up despite those terrible shooting stretches, and it wasn't a good result for the Blazers. But then obviously he turned things around in January, so he hasn't been able to find any sort of consistency during his career on his three-point shot. He's a career 32% three-point shooter. 33% isn't good enough. And when you look at his splits in 2020 to 2021, Nassir Little shot 46% from 3 before the All-Star break on 17 for 37 from 3, and then after the All-Star break, he shot 11 for 43, which was 26%. So small sample size, yes, but he's been very up and down as a shooter, and that didn't change this year. I was hoping he would be able to find some consistency from 3 and consistently knock down looks from there, but he hasn't, and that's something to look for going into next season. The final concern of mine is I feel like he might be a bit injury prone. He hasn't played more than 50 games during his career. He hasn't proven that he can play more than 50 games over the course of his career. Now, some of that is not due to him being injury prone. He missed time with COVID. There's other little nagging injuries that wouldn't suggest that somebody is injury prone, like a turned ankle or something. Obviously, his rookie year, there was times he probably should have been playing over a few guys, and he wasn't able to get into the game. So it doesn't mean that he is injury prone, but I'm not sure that he's not. This is the first significant injury that Nassir Little has dealt with, but when you add that to a bunch of little nagging injuries that he seems to pick up, there always seems to be something. It makes me question whether he might be a little bit injury prone. Hopefully that's not the case. As far as what Nassir Little should work on during the offseason, I think he needs to find his outside shot. He needs to become as good of a shooter as possible. That's going to be the key to unlocking his game. If he makes guys close out on him hard, run him off the three-point line, then he can use his athleticism and his dribble drive game to create for himself and others. It'll open everything up. If guys are closing out short and not getting out all the way, and he's not making them pay by knocking down threes, then it's also harder to drive because that defender has more space to stay in front of him. So he needs to knock down threes. He needs to be shooting 1,000 threes a day during the offseason. He needs to find his outside shot. As far as my expectations looking forward, next year is a contract year for Nassir Little. It's make or break time in terms of him trying to get a bag on his second contract. We had the same situation with Anthony Simons this year, and he absolutely exceeded all expectations and had a phenomenal year, and he's going to get paid handsomely for it. Nassir Little will be looking to do the same thing. As far as his role could be, I would not be comfortable having him as the starting small forward going into next year. I just think he hasn't proven that he can do anything consistently well at the NBA level. He hasn't proven that he can be a positive defender. He can be on the ball, but his off-ball struggles make me a little bit concerned with that. He hasn't proven that he can consistently shoot the ball. He hasn't proven that he can consistently play make, but all the flashes are there. I could see him next season going into the year shooting 36% from 3 and being a good enough three-point shooter. That guys have to respect it, and then that opens up his dribble drive game, and he can be a menace attacking the rim, playing in transition. I could see him being an on-ball lockdown defender, and then his off-ball mistakes are all fixable, and I think if he commits to fixing those mistakes, he'll be able to fix them at some point during his career. Hopefully it's next season, so I could see him being a positive in numerous areas. He just hasn't consistently proven that he can be a positive in one of them. So it creates an interesting setup going into next year. I would just bring him off the bench, give him a ton of minutes, but bring him off the bench. I like his energy off the bench, and I think the Blazers need to be aiming to get 2 forwards that are higher caliber right now than Nassir Little, and maybe Nassir Little can win the starting spot from one of them, especially if it's a rookie with a draft pick, you know, if it's an AJ Griffin or whoever. But the Blazers shouldn't just settle for Nassir Little being the starting small forward with the assets that they have to move around to try and get 2 legitimate starting forwards this offseason. As far as Nassir Little's grade for this past season, I give him a B-. That is a positive grade, not as positive as some Blazer fans might give him, him, and I'm curious what grade you would give him, so let me know down in the comment section below. It's a positive grade because he showed a lot of flashes, but it's not higher because he didn't find consistency. Not necessarily his fault, but consistency was something that I was looking for him heading into this year, and he didn't really find that. Anyway, that's a wrap for this player review for Nassir Little. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Hopefully you're enjoying these player reviews. As I said, there's a playlist link in the description box below if you've missed any that I've already dropped. With that being said, I'm out of here. As always, peace out. Go Blazers.